Hello everyone and welcome to another high elo game of Age of Empires. Today you may remember us from such casts as the one you watched yesterday and perhaps the one you watched before that. But today you're going to be watching Mr. Yo playing as the red Hindustanis take on the Viper playing as the green Vietnamese. Now all the players herd their herdables, explore their immediate surroundings with goats and with scouts, and try to go up to feudal as fast as possible. Let's take a look at the Civ matchup we'll be watching today. Now, the Hindustanis are a civ that pushes its players towards an army composition made up of gunpowder and camel units. Now, how does it do that, you might ask? Let me tell you. All Hindustani gunpowder units come with extra armor, and their hand cannoneers can actually be upgraded to get extra range. Now, on the camel side of things, the Hindustanis also have a few cool features. First, their camels come with a small attack bonus against buildings, which addresses one of my main concerns about camels in general, namely that they absolutely suck at taking down and destroying buildings. Oh, did she change her mind? We'll see where she's going with that axe in her hand. Nope. Decides to go west instead, listening to that 80s song. I believe the actual name is Go West. Life is peaceful there. I don't anticipate life being very peaceful for this villager, for Mr. Yo, or for the Viper in this game. But in any event, their camels do attack 20% faster, and the Hindustanis have access to the Imperial Camel Rider, a fairly strong, tanky, super fast upgraded version of the already powerful Heavy Camel Rider. Now, on the field of battle, in order to defend their hand cannoneers from pesky, annoying ranged units that might want to snipe them, the Hindustanis can actually turn to their second unique unit, the Gulam. This is an anti-archer infantry unit that moves quickly, has high pierce armor, and an attack bonus against archers, and whose spear can actually injure multiple units at once. Now, the Hindustanis, in order to support their quick production of these expensive units, villagers become progressively cheaper, starting in the Dark Age at the very start of the game, all the way up to 20% cheaper in Imperial. And the entire Hindustani economy can be upgraded to increase the speed of all gold income by 10%. And by that, I mean their miners work faster, their relics generate quicker, and even their trade units generate more gold per trip. Although on a 1v1 with no neutral markets, I don't really anticipate seeing trade. Although always down to be pleasantly surprised by the wacky, zany playstyles of these high elo players. Now, opposite Mr. Yo, we've got the Viper. Not in his usual yellow, this time playing the Vietnamese in green, an archer civilization that actually has access to two pretty damn cool units. First, the Rattan Archer is the second fastest foot archer in the game, comes with a decent attack and a massive amount of pierce armor. Think a Huskarl with a bow and arrow, making it very hard for enemy archers to kill. The second is the other unique unit of the Vietnamese. I'm talking about the Imperial Skirmisher. This is a better armored version of the Elite Skirmisher that comes with a higher attack and a bonus and a higher, oh my god, sorry guys, I forgot how to speak English for a second. Comes with a higher attack and bonus against foot archers and cav archers. Now, if that wasn't enough, all units that come out of the Vietnamese archery rangers do come with 20% more HP. And I would, of course, be remiss to not mention that these, as always, are my favorite lemon bushes in the game with the pretty blue butterflies. Now, to support their range units on the field of battle, the Vietnamese have the chonkiest of chonkies, the elephant, that can be upgraded to get 420 HP, making it the second most HP heavy elephant in the game after, of course, the Persian elephants, and they do get conscription for free, which means that once they hit Imperial, they can start pumping out units ASAP. Now, to afford the cost of training their ranged units and their battle elephants, Vietnamese all economic upgrades cost no wood, and they can upgrade every single one of their lumberjacks to also generate a small amount of gold while they jack lumber. Now, unlike other civilizations who have features designed to protect them from raids, extra line of sight, garrisoning more villagers in a town center, thicker buildings, garrisoning villagers inside houses, for example, the Vietnamese have the opposite. They have a feature that allows them to raid more efficiently. Take a look. Let's take a look at the line of sight of the Vietnamese. First thing you'll notice, you start the game knowing exactly where your enemy is, which is you can tell by the Viper's scouting. Ignore this movement here by this scout, but you can tell by the Viper's scouting initially made an absolute immediate beeline towards his enemy, knowing exactly where the starting position of the enemy is. Whereas take a look at Mr. Yo, went a little east, went a little south, doubled back, and then only then discovered, as opposed to the Viper, who made an absolute straight line towards his enemy. So we've got two pretty damn cool civilization. I'm excited to see how the Viper plays the Vietnamese. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, this civilization has one of the lowest win rates, if not the lowest win rates out of any civilization. So let's see how the, one of the worst civs, if we can call it that. Although I hate using that expression. I'm going to say it for dramatic effect. Give me some, dramatic license here. One of the worst civs in the hands of one of the best players. Let's see what the Viper can do. For now, he is also in Feudal, Mr. Yo having reached it first. Also pretty excited because we have two civs with two unique units, both with the name with the word Imperial in their name. Whether it's an Imperial Camel, whether it's an Imperial Skirmisher. Let's see the direction this game goes. A few people in my comments have you said, oh, you're not really predicting how the players are going. You're not really explaining what route, for example, the Viper will go if he's playing the Vietnamese. And the simple fact is, you are absolutely right. I'm going to let the Viper talk for himself. I don't know what his game plan is. I don't know. I don't want to put, the expression, I don't want to put words in his mouth. I don't want to put clicks on his keyboard. Let's put it like that. The Vietnamese, not exactly the most versatile of civilizations, but we'll see. Will he go archers? Will he go battle elephants? Will he go something completely different? Will he go defensive structures, offensive structures? 1,000,001 different ways to play this game. As you guys have heard me say before, Age of Empires very much like chess, where there's a fixed number of opening moves, and then beyond a certain point, garrison the villagers, there you go. Beyond a certain point, it just becomes a game of infinite possibility. So that, combined with the fact that every time I try to predict something, it usually goes the complete opposite way. The Viper, oh my god, he's so damn fast at walling himself off. But of course, right as I say that, I think perhaps, it sucks that he lost that villager really, really bad. By the way, Mr. Yo so far has killed 3 villagers with these scouts. I thought the Viper was maybe luring them into the arms of the spearmen, but now the Viper has to retreat. These scouts, I think mission accomplished here, getting 3 villagers in exchange for 1 scout. But these scouts, their shelf life has now been reached. Their expiry date has passed. And now with a massive combined total of 34 HP, they need to get the hell out of here. Otherwise, they will just absolutely die instantaneously, by the way, if I might add. Mr. Yo is about to get hit, though, by a few of these units for the Viper. Let's take a look at what the Viper is sending. 4 archers and a scout. Full health on these guys. A few more reinforcements. No, these are not reinforcements at all. These are just spearmen that are hanging out in the middle here, trying to stop Mr. Yo's cavalry from doing any kind of damage. Looks like he peeled the 3rd one off to explore the middle. I don't mind this at all. Trying to catch reinforcements, trying to see if the Viper is sending any units towards your base is not a bad unit of use of any unit, to be honest. But before the players engage, let's take a very quick look. Oh my god, guys, sometimes my brain combines 2 words. I wanted to say quick look, I say clook instead. Oh man. Let's take a quick look at the bases. Mr. Yo has carved himself a nice chunk of map here. Had primary gold nice and secure off to the side, back position, stone a little bit exposed. I don't like this, especially not against an archer civilization like the Vietnamese. They can park their archers just north of this and cause a lot of problems. Wood line, 4 of them for Mr. Yo, and decent amount of coverage here. Pretty easy to wall off, to be honest, with the exception of the north, which looks like it required a bit more effort. So archery range, blacksmith for him, the Viper, choosing to leave his base a little bit open. Also 1, 2, 3, 4 forests nearby. Primary gold, though, look at this, very much in the forward position. Primary stone also exposed off campus. Looks like there's a bit of a scuffle here to the north. So I don't know that necessarily any player is advantaged or disadvantaged. I fear for the Viper's gold here, but he's already secured it off with a big old wall off. Oh, sorry, guys, I hit my microphone. So he has secured his gold. Not really interested in securing a stone at the moment, which, as we saw, is a little bit off campus. Lumberjacks at the back, protected by a spearman. So army supply basically identical. It was 9 to 9 a second ago. Now it's 10 to 8. Civilian population, though, our Hindustani with those cheaper villagers is starting to pull ahead. 6 villagers ahead at the moment. That's basically 20% more villagers than the Viper, a little bit less than 20%. That is not a situation our Vietnamese wants to be in, even though economic upgrades cost no wood, which allows him to invest a lot more wood into these archer units. He is going up to castle already, though. That is why he is not building more villagers, not investing that much money in scouts either. Scouts incredibly food intensive at this stage of the game. Let's see if the Viper can hold here. I mean, obviously he's going to hold against a handful of skirmishers and 2 spearmen. What I meant to say, I guess, was let's see how much damage Mr. Yo can do. Let's see how well Viper can defend, because he needs time. He is going up to castle, although not too far behind is Mr. Yo. And take a look, on the back of 7 more villagers than the Viper. Mr. Yo trying to get these juicy archer units of his opponent. Instead, a spearman moves forward and knocks him back. Looks like the scout here, who's been doing, looks like some pretty damn good exploration. I mean, let's look at Mr. Yo's vision on the mini map. He sees almost the entire map at the moment. Wow, that is incredibly impressive. And now his army supply has been knocked down to 1 scout, the 1 scout of the 4 that had originally come that does not have a single kill. Look at the Viper's vision. Look at his vision. Periphery of the map, unexplored. To the north, to the south. The question is, does he care? He is again making a beeline straight for his opponent's base. Still has not walled off his own base, but hits castle first. This is now where the world of infinite possibilities begins. Second town center, fairly standard. Third town center, also fairly standard. Expends all of his stone, which tells us he is not interested at the moment in going into a big old castle push with rattan archers. Not that he would really need to. Remember, rattan archer is more of an counter archer. Second, third town center going up for our Hindustani as well, whose villagers, by the way, now that he's in castle, are 15% cheaper. But look at this, the Viper to the west, the Viper to the north, the Viper to the east. Not with a lot of units on the Viper to the south, although a camel comes in and kills him. Take a look at that. Seconds between attack. Remember, they do attack faster. And let's see. So the Viper, though he is everywhere with extremely weak units. And let's see, now that Mr. Yo has camels out, investing at this moment in economic upgrades. I guess he thinks, you know what, the Viper's got this basically ineffective army. Not really much he's going to be able to do with a few scouts, a spearman, and an archer. Why don't I just take this opportunity off the back of 45 villagers to invest in some economic upgrades? Well, that being said, the Viper already has these economic upgrades and is also building a 4th town center. 2 monks out, 1 more in the production tab. How many relics has he seen? He's seen 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Am I missing a 5th? Where is the 5th relic? 1. Okay, so it looks like he wants to go relics, because otherwise why the hell would the scout be here? What am I missing out on the map here? There's 1, 2. Oh, I'm missing the fact that the Viper already got a relic. That was 0 a second ago, so you can't blame me too much. Oh, lucky catch here for Mr. Yo. He's going to see that this scout, and by the way, not much this scout can do against 4 villagers. Oh man, if this was real life and you were trying to put up a town center, some kind of housing project, and there were zebras and ostriches and box turtles, there was a forest of, what is this, a dragon? I was going to say acacia dragon trees, patches of gold. Do you know how many permits you would need? How many environmental studies you would have to conduct in order to be able to put this town center up? Mr. Yo should be absolutely thankful that he is playing Age of Empires and not Age of Real Life. Otherwise, this town center would take about 17 years to go up. It would be about 80% behind budget, and it would cost 5 times what it originally was supposed to cost. And these poor zebras, this ostrich, these box turtles would all have to be relocated. Okay, Mr. Yo defending to the north with a castle. The Viper 7 villagers on stone himself. Not quite ready to build a castle, although is catching up to villager count. At the end of this production cycle, both players will have 72, 73 villagers, making them incredibly equal. The Viper, beyond getting that one relic, hasn't produced any military structures whatsoever. And even though he's catching up in army supply, civilian supply, villagers and such, it's Mr. Yo who's expanding with the military buildings. Although, not much on the production tab at the moment at all. What are you? I saw this shadow. I was confused. Why the hell is there a shadow there? And Mr. Yo is pushing away these scouts. Oh, what a sour loss of a scout. But in come the camels. Should be able to get the job done. Absolutely get the job done. But now 5 on 1. He needs to get the hell out of there, does Mr. Yo. Another town center. He is going up to 5 town centers. Remember, the Viper should have absolutely seen this one, right? He saw the foundation being built, the concrete being poured. Oh, I don't think he's going to get this scout. Yeah, a little bit too slow is the Viper, who now has 2 relics to 1. But here we go. King of the Hill Castle for him. How many villagers being sent out? Only 4. 5. Okay, not terrible. 5. Let's take a look. Viper has about 15 population room, building more houses. Is he getting ready to spam units? Husbandry? Guys, are we going to see elephants? You know, I talk about how the Vietnamese have those pothead elephants, right? The 420 HP elephants. But usually you don't really see them in these high elo games. I'll have to take a look at the games I've cast. Or is it casted? What's the past tense of cast? Is it still cast or casted? I'm going to look that up too. So I'm going to look up 2 things right now. Are you guys enjoying, by the way, the stream of consciousness thought? Mr. Yo heading up to Imperial. A whole bunch of infantry upgrades for him. He is going gulams, baby. Another unit you don't see that often anymore. Looks like he did lose a monk. Did Mr. Yo. I don't know where this scout thinks he's going. Probably just to distract the gulams. But I'm going to look up 2 things. Number 1, what the hell is the past tense of cast? Is it casted or is it still just cast? I think it's casted, right? And number 2, I already forget. Oh, yes, I'm going to look up how many games I've cast, or casted, if you will, of the Vietnamese. And of those, how many we saw elephants, because it definitely does look, with the amount of gold, with scale barding armor, with 45 villagers on food, that the Viper looks like he wants to go elephants. Unless I'm completely misreading the situation, which is, again, very possible. Mr. Yo, for him, his own military needs to get wind of this ASAP, because if a Viper goes elephants, even though they're missing blast furnace, take a look at the top right of your screen here. I mean, the extra 100 HP just makes them so powerful. There it is. I was keeping an eye out on that top right of our screen. There it is, our first elephant. Where are you being built out of? I don't know why I clicked the archery range. I'm going to get a lot of flack for that. There it is. Oh, you love to see this unit. 250 HP. Although now he's also getting Bodkin. Although we'll see if that's just for his static defense, as opposed to any kind of archer play. Civilians, let's take a look. Mr. Yo, 109 villagers, elite gulams. Oh no, all of his amazing early game scouting. He thought he saw the castle. He must have thought the Viper is going pure rattan archers, and that's why he's investing in gulams. I don't know why else he would how to put this. I don't know why else he would pay for the elite gulam upgrade and additional infantry or melee attack upgrades. Although I guess that also benefits his camels. If he didn't think, oh no, garrison the monk. Sour. if he didn't think that the Viper was going ranged units. So he sees the elephants immediately. What can he do? He's pot committed now. He's got to go Gulam. He's got to go Gulam. He's got nothing else. He's gonna have +2/+2. But remember, unlike the attack upgrades for melee, which apply both to the infantry and the cavalry, if he were to go camels now, which he probably should, right? Probably should go camels. He would need to research all the defensive upgrades, the armor upgrades from scratch, and oh, here they come. Moving at a massive 0.94. Okay. Looks like he got... 1 second, sorry. Why are you charging in here? No, looks like Viper got chat dress while I wasn't looking at the top right of our screen, because these guys are now sitting at 370 HP. Not quite maxed out Gulam's raiding. Trying to raid? Okay. 5 elephants are going to do a good amount of damage. Guys, I mean, this is just the Viper doing the Viper things. I mean, who else would be raiding with elephants? Look at this. Look at this. Slow or slowest raiding in the game that you've ever seen. Incredible. He's lucky these aren't Berber villagers. Even though I look at this 0.97 movement speed to 0.94. These elephants in theory should not be able to catch up at all. Do these Gulams have any relevant? No relevant attack bonuses whatsoever. So Mr. Yo, like I said, pod committed. The Viper again doing Viper things with this wall off here. This last minute wall off. Now moving into archery ranges. Okay, let's see it. This is why I was talking about what I was talking about earlier. You know, I could have said so many things. By the way, he destroyed the town center here. Incredible. Absolutely incredible. So he goes for the target he knows exists first, which is that town center, which he saw with the original scout. Somehow this relic, which is super close to Mr. Yo's base, still hasn't been picked up by him. But this is what I was talking about in the early part of the game. If you had told me, you know, Isaac, when you start casting this game, you know, the Viper is going to be raiding with the slowest unit he has, I would look at you and say, come on. I mean, come on. Put down the cigarette. That's not going to happen. Now they're elite. Look at their HP. Speaking of funny cigarettes, 420 HP. Is that not just bonkers? But 2 castles, hand cannoneers, Shatagni, no Shatagni yet, so just 7 range on them. And now Mr. Yo, cavalry, paper money for the Viper, arbalest upgrades for the Viper. We are going to see a super fun game. Elephants are everywhere. He's raiding with literally the slowest unit he could. This is just absolutely the Viper having a hell of a time. I don't know how else to describe it. I mean, this is, if this works, he's probably, and some of you might have seen him play this game live, because, you know, he does go live a lot. Loses an elephant here. Looks like he lost 2 elephants. If some of you are watching, have watched this live, let me know if I'm right. At the end of this game, if he ends up winning, he's probably going to let out the biggest laugh that you've ever heard from him. My God, look at them. Do they even care that they're missing blast furnace? They attack on a 16. Behind this, 12 arbalests. Doesn't even matter. He's supply capped at 200. Mr. Yo, half of that at 113 and falling. Okay, these hand cannoneers should be able to do a pretty damn good job. Still no Shatagni, just getting armor upgrades for ranged units, armor upgrades for his cavalry units. And this is what I was talking about. A random cav archer thrown into the mix. Villager hanging out doing nothing. Dies immediately. And look at this. I'm going to zoom out a little bit. Viper moving forward through the center of the map. Viper on the western portion of Mr. Yo's base. Viper on the eastern portion of Mr. Yo's base. Viper attacking a high priority target, a defunct mining camp. Okay, tell me, guys, if you saw this live, let me know. Did the Viper just yell out, he let out the biggest laugh of all time? I mean, I absolutely love the use of elephants, but I don't think we've seen, at least not on this channel, You might have seen it on maybe other casters, maybe Dave's or T90s or someone else. The use of battle elephants like hussars, just spread out, attacking multiple locations. What did the Viper want to build here? Okay, a mining camp. Big surprise, the player going heavy on the elephants wants gold. Big surprise. Wow, what an absolute fun game. Not a very long game, not a very high kill game, at least not for Mr. Yo. Look at the Viper. 68 villager kills. But after killing those initial 3 villagers with those scouts that he had here in the early stages of the game, Mr. Yo didn't kill a single villager. Not even one extra villager, whereas the Viper took down 68. Man, the chonk is real. They can take a punishment. 7 pierce armor on these guys. Means a castle is not as scary as you think it is. And because we are watching a pro game, there are no murder holes, which means these elephants can run amok. Castle already down 1,000 HP. This one down about 500 HP. And who else but the Viper would hussar raid with elephants? I mean, guys, tell me, am I wrong? Have you seen this happen before? I haven't seen this before. I haven't seen elephants used like this in small clumps. By the way, the follow-up from the Viper looks like he stopped building elephants. He's going into arbalests. Not a bad pivot here. Upgrades, not quite fully upgraded. Not quite, but getting there. And with 26 villagers on gold, look at Mr. Yo's villager count. I can't believe he lost this many villagers. What's the kill on these guys? 14 economic kills, meaning villagers. I mean, obviously. Only 4 economy kills. Okay, so these must have gotten rid of the Gulams. What an absolute hilarious game out of the Viper. I think I'm definitely gonna post this game. I think this is a kick to the nuts of anyone who thinks they can ever predict a game, I think. Because you've got the Vietnamese, you've got one of the coolest archer civs in the game, in my opinion. Economic upgrades cost no wood, gives them a lot of wood in the early game to build archer units to defend, etc. They've got rattan archers, which is one of the coolest units, I think, in the game, with their 10 fully capped out pierce armor, which, again, think Huskarl. It's insane. They've got the Imperial skirmisher. They've got tankier archers all around. And what does he do? He goes elephants. And not only in a small way, by the way, in a massive way, fully upgraded elephants. If you don't think that costs a huge amount of gold, that costs a huge amount of gold. Although the actual upgrade, I should point, I don't think it's very expensive. The what is it called? Oh my god, it just flew out of my mind. The extra 100 HP Chatras. I don't think that's a very expensive upgrade, but full attack complement, full elite status, which some of us are still trying to get at some casinos in Vegas. You know, takes a while, but we'll get there. We'll get there. But that is not a cheap endeavor. I really want to take a look at economy. 31 Gulams, 46 battle elephants. We know who wins that battle. Peak APM for the Viper midway through the game. Mr. Yo a little bit in the earlier stages of the game. The Viper, yeah, take a look at that. So relics, let's ignore the relics. What is this? A 380 gold difference. But there it is. About 3,000 more gold than his opponent. And look at the resource count. This is just crazy. This is 30% more resources. Absolutely shocking when you remember the fact that Mr. Yo's villagers are discounted right from the beginning of the game. 5, 10, 15, 20% in Imperial. The fact that his economy was just so far behind. That being said, if you added the 68 back, he'd be ahead in villagers, but that's not exactly how the math works. But in any event, wow, kill count for the Viper, as we saw, triple, literally triple that of Mr. Yo. Mr. Yo going full Gulam before he sussed out the presence of the battle elephants. Thank God for him that he had those trebuchets here that destroyed the Viper's castle, because the Trebs, with their insane vision, their insane line of sight. Look at their line of sight. If you're not familiar with the Treb line of sight, look at the map. Look at the screen. Look at your screen in awe right now at their line of sight. He caught those elephants just roaming around here, and I think he panicked a little bit, maybe. Went full Gulam which is really not what you want, especially when you have access to camels. I mean, maybe Hussars as a meat shield with some hand cannoneers. Still has a good amount of food, but overall, I don't think he saw the Viper using battle elephants at the 40-minute mark of the game to raid his economy, because I certainly didn't. I mean, elephants not really a raiding unit. They're not exactly a Woad Raider, a Keshik, an Eagle Warrior. You know, these are more build up a massive army and crack your opponent's base open like like the shell of an egg and just crack them like Humpty Dumpty and destroy them. In this case, the Viper taking a little bit of a different tack, showing us an incredibly fun game and showing us an incredibly diverse and versatile play style that we love to see in these high elo players. I mean, when I say high elo, you don't really get much higher than these two. At some point, Mr. Yo was, I think, even #1 in the world. The Viper, look at that, 2733. Mr. Yo, 2650. Lots of players in between them on the rank, but still some of the best players in the world. And just the versatility was incredible out of the Viper. So ultimately, he does, in a very fun matchup, in a very fun game, takes the big W. But wow, GG to both players. Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips and make sure to subscribe and enable notifications so that you're notified of my latest uploads.